The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Shady Rays. Go to shadyrays.com and use promo code SGPN for 50% off of two or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. We're also brought to you by the Golf Gambling Podcast Tailor Made Stealth 2 Driver Giveaway. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/driver to enter today before the big drawing on April 8th. And we're also brought to you by Baseball Money is Fake, our fantasy baseball podcast. Join Blake and Ryan 3 times a week and get all the player breakdowns and statistical data you need to dominate your leagues. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. We are doing this show live at 9:06 Eastern in the evening to kind of get ahead or the numbers maybe for tomorrow, but we're only going to talk about the meaningful games for the last day of the regular season. We were already here at the finish line of the regular season. We'll recap what we saw on the Saturday 3-game schedule, but joining me here to help me break it down and to handicap the last day of the regular season is my main man, Delonte Smith. Delonte, either we're psychos or we just love the NBA, my man. I don't know which one it is.
Probably a mix of both. Probably
There
a
you
little
go.
bit, probably a little bit mix of both. But yeah, man, looking forward to it because it's a lot of things that still have to be ironed out, specifically in the Western Conference. I think the Eastern Conference is pretty much set, if I'm not mistaken. I guess you could correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I think the West is where the chaos is or can occur if some things happen tomorrow.
Yeah, so I mean, for the East, we can quickly go through it. So 1 through 6 is pretty much set.
Yeah, essentially.
Milwaukee has won the Eastern Conference. We already knew that. I think it's pretty much cemented, man.
Because I've seen lines up for Atlanta,
Yeah,
Miami, and also Toronto, Chicago. So
yeah. So what it's going to be is Atlanta is going to be visiting Miami,
mhm.
and like Delonte said, yeah, lines are already up for that playing tournament game in the Eastern Conference, and then Chicago is headed up north to take on the Toronto Raptors in that game, and that line is also up as well. But we'll discuss those games on, I believe we said Tuesday's episode, as usual on the regular schedule. But I know tomorrow on, or at least when we're recording, it's Saturday night, but Sunday is going to be Easter Sunday, so kind of want to get ahead of what's going on in the NBA, and we do have a lot of early starts tomorrow in the association as well. So the first games are actually going to be starting around 1 o'clock Eastern in the NBA tomorrow, and then the late games, the Western Conference games, are all going to be starting at 3:30 Eastern. So I think the way the NBA set this up is that the teams that are at home in the Eastern Conference are all starting at 1 o'clock Eastern, and then all the Western Conference games, all the teams that are in the West at home, are starting at 3:30 Eastern. Delonte, let's recap what we saw on Saturday. Maybe not too much of a surprise, but I know we give out our picks. How did your picks end up going from this morning?
I ended up actually I laid it with Minnesota. I lost the first quarter, but I laid it with Minnesota. I took a bad number with Utah, 6. I didn't even. I mean, I guess when we got off, Malone stated that the starters will be playing, and I mean they played up until the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh, but overall, I think that the only thing I lost was the under in Portland Clippers that flew over. It's the only thing I lost, and then of course the Minnesota first quarter. But everything else, I won the. I hit a 2-1, well +250 for the player prop
Mm-hmm.
parlay with Branham and Shaden Sharp, so that
Yep.
was pretty good. But other than that, man, not bad. I think everybody did pretty good. I think Scott hit a couple of the things that he was talking about, and I know you hit your Zubac double double. I think he had like 14 and 11 or something like that.
Yeah, he hit that by the third quarter. He only played 23 minutes for. Luckily for me, I'm not sure if he played in that fourth quarter or not, or majority starts. I watch it up until the end of the third quarter. I'm not sure if any of them played in the fourth quarter, but
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, honestly, I thought they were going to lose. They didn't look good at
yeah,
all. They didn't look
yeah.
good at all.
Especially, it was really that third quarter that was a difference for the
Mhm.
Clippers, where they outscored the Portland Trailblazers 45-26 plus 19 in that third quarter. Go on to win the game, but they didn't cover the number because they were a 17 and a half
Yeah,
point
17,
favorite.
17 and a half. Yep.
Yeah. Kawhi Leonard really turned it on in that third quarter as well. I know Batum hit a couple big threes. Westbrook looked really good as well. He chipped in with 20 points, but they took care of business where they needed to. I mean, at that point, it's not really about for them to cover the numbers. It's just about, getting the win, being up at the end of three quarters by, double digits, and then having your starters rest in the fourth quarter because you have another game on Sunday. So they took care of business. Minnesota drops 151 points in regulation on the San Antonio Spurs. They win the game. Also, they do get the cover. They were a 13 and a half, 14-point favorite.
They closed 15 and a half.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I think because of the cat stuff, the cat actually played. So I think that, was a factor in it.
Yeah. They get the victory by 20 in San Antonio, 151 to 131. And then, like we mentioned, Denver in a meaningless game started their starters.
They looked horrible. They got smacked in the first quarter. Like they were getting ran.
Yeah.
Body language was horrible.
Yeah, they were down 32 to 19 in that first quarter. Made a run in the second quarter to trim it to, I think, 3 points. I think it was like 58 to 55 at the halftime mark. And then in the third quarter, they came out and outscored the Utah Jazz 40 to 31. And then, like Delonte alluded to, most of the starters sat in that fourth quarter. I mean, I'm not too mad about Malone playing his guys, kind of trying to keep them in rhythm.
Oh yeah, I'm
and
definitely
things
not
like
mad
that.
at that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jokic was 4 points shy of a triple double. Right. He finished with 10 rebounds and 10 assists. What else? I think that was pretty much it from at least Saturday. I know we talked about some of the player props. I think we did pretty good on those.
Yeah. All 3 games went over.
Yeah,
I think that's a trend. Usually, I mean, I've been betting that way for the past, even before they started doing the play in. Like it was even worse. Well, I guess not worse, but it was even better as bettors whenever they didn't have the play in, because all the teams were tanking pretty much. So it was free money on the over. Like every game was going over. They're going out like running and gunning. Nothing. The refs are swallowing a whistle. A lot more freedom of space and allowing a lot more hand checks. So. Yeah, man, it's a free way to the. I think they all went over by. Well, Denver and Utah barely got there, but the other 2 games flew over. Like all 4 of those teams had over 120, 125 or more. So yeah. I think that's going to be a way to look tomorrow also.
Yeah, I agree 100% about that. All right, so we talked about the East. Before we get into the Western Conference updated standings and the games that have the implications for seedings, let me tell everyone about Shady Rays. Kick off the new year with new gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and much more. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair that we've worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. That's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. With Shady Rays, you can look good and feel good. To date, they have donated over 20 million meals to fight hunger with Feeding America. If you don't love them, exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within the 30-day window return period. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Their team always has your back. So, exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the new year. Go to shadyrays.com and use promo code SGPN for 50% off of 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Again, use promo code SGPN at shadyrays.com for 50% off of 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. All right, man. Shout out to the chat. I know it's not our usual numbers, man, but we actually have some folks watching with us here. I know Drew's in the chat. Nick, one of our usual guys in the chat. Yeah. So appreciate you guys on Saturday night. I know there's UFC going on, there's baseball going on, NHL going on. Man, I appreciate you guys joining us in the chat here. It really, definitely helps us get through the show. All right, Delonte. So right now in the Western Conference, the seedings going in to the last day of the regular season. So we know who 1 through 4 are: Denver, Memphis, Sacramento, and Phoenix.
Yep.
As of today, if the regular season ended on Saturday night, the first round matchup would be the Phoenix Suns versus Phoenix Suns versus the LA Clippers in that first round, and then the Sacramento Kings versus the Golden State Warriors. But um, what we know for sure, Delonte, is that Oklahoma City Thunder, who are the 10th seed, they're going to be a road team
Yep.
in their play-in tournament game, whether that's going to be against the Pelicans or the Timberwolves. We'll find that out by tomorrow evening. Lakers currently are sitting in the 7th spot. They are 1 game back of the Warriors for the 6th seed, and then 1 game back of the Clippers for the 5th seed. So, um, I was trying to dig up the different tiebreakers and stuff. I really couldn't find anything, but the only thing that I did find was, like I mentioned, OKC is officially the 10th seed. They will be the road team on Wednesday, and there we don't know who their opponent is. So for the Wolves, they can fall anywhere from the 7th seed to the 9th seed. They are also going to be a play-in tournament team. Now it will be determined to see whether they are going to be hosting a home game or whether they are going to be a road team. So we're going to find that out between the Pelicans and the Timberwolves as they do play a game on the last day of the regular season. So Dante, what I'm going to do is I'll save that game for last, the Pelicans and the Wolves, because I think that's the most competitive game that we're going to have
Yeah.
uh, on the last day of the regular season. So we'll get into the other 3 games that have some obviously playoff implications. So let's start here with the Utah Jazz. They just played on Saturday afternoon. They are going to be now traveling from Utah to LA. Currently, the line right now is 16.5 in favor of the LA Lakers. Looking at the injury report again for Utah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the usual guys that played today for the Utah Jazz. Did see some notes come across for the Lakers that officially guys that are questionable are going to be Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Dennis Schroeder. I mean, we're going to go and make the assumption that all those guys are going to be playing in this game.
Except for
Uh,
Schroeder, I think Schroeder might be out.
okay.
I'm not. I was looking at it. Actually, before we came on, I was reading an article about. It was a Lakers beat reporter was saying how he's trending towards not playing. Now obviously a lot can change between now and game time, but I was in the middle of it. I didn't get the, the rationale as behind it. I was just saying that he was just saying that he was trending towards not playing. So whatever that's worth.
Okay. And then yeah, right before we got on, I saw some notes also come across. So D'Angelo Russell is probable. He'll probably end up playing. And
Yeah,
then, like I
yeah,
mentioned,
yeah.
the 2 guys, LeBron and AD, are questionable. I did see. So why don't you get into this game? Because I just saw something come across my um some notes here on kind of the different scenarios on what's going to end up happening.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
right
let's go.
now, 16.5 for the Lakers. Let's start there.
Yeah, I think I'll end up playing the Jazz here, simply because they're just playing hard. I think I said it earlier today whenever me, you, and Scott were on. They're just playing extremely hard. They showed some resilience today, jumped out to a big lead, even with the starters of Denver playing. Now, obviously, they weren't playing up to their capabilities, but I mean, they only can control what they can control. And I don't think the Lakers have incentive to actually beat them by, margin. They just want to get in, get the win, get guys healthy, and get out. So if they can get up, 15 to 16 points in the fourth quarter, I'm pretty sure they'll sit some of those guys or at least be more lackadaisical on both ends. So I think the Jazz they're gonna fight. That's what I want in the underdog. They're gonna fight, they're gonna keep fighting, and they showed some resilience coming back. I think Denver had a big third quarter. Denver was actually up 6 or 7 late in the game. Peyton Watson was missing a bunch of free throws. So that caused them to get back in the game. But they just kept fighting. I mean, even with the guys that they're playing against, they're playing with undermanned, they're still fighting. I like it. 16.5 points is it's a lot of points for a feisty underdog. We all know the numbers of the Jazz as an underdog. And I mean, it all boils down to the Lakers. I just don't think they have incentive to beat this team by, 20 or 30 points. So I'll lean with the Jazz. Now I won't be shocked if the Jazz are in it late and give the Lakers a scare like they did in Utah a
Yeah,
couple games ago.
yeah.
But yeah, I think the Lakers obviously pull it out, but I think they're gonna have to fight for it.
Yeah, I think it'll be something similar to what we saw with like the Clippers here
I can see that. Yeah, I can see
today,
that.
right? Like maybe a slower start and then they kind of pull away in that third quarter and they have a good enough margin like you just mentioned that they're up maybe 15, 16, 17 points going into that third quarter. And then, Darvin Ham sits his main guys within those first couple minutes. And if they're able to keep the lead, that's great. Then you'll see LeBron and AD probably not come in for the rest of the game where if you really don't need them, right?
Right, exactly.
Um,
And
so I would,
unfortunately, injury
yeah, go ahead.
prone, like
Yeah.
anything can happen with AD, obviously.
Mhm.
So yeah, you kind of want to get those guys like some rest at least.
Yeah, I agree. So I will go with Utah as well. Again, Terrell's rule is probably still in effect because it will cash again today
Hmm.
against the Denver Nuggets. So I can see a scenario where Lakers win this game by 14, 15 points. And I think that if you want to bet on the Utah Jazz, wait because that number will probably go up maybe another point if when LeBron and AD are ruled in. So maybe you could get a 17, 17 and a half by the time you get to this pod, maybe overnight or before the game starts. So we'll go with the Jazz here. I don't see any team totals. Oh, sorry, totals here for this game right now. Delonte, do you see anything on your end?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I think they're just waiting for availability for some of these guys. If in case like Horton Tucker like suits up or whoever. But I think that's what they're waiting for. I don't see any totals. Only on a few games, not many at all. Especially not the marquee ones.
Yeah. All right. So I don't see. Well, let me see. I didn't. Should rewind and see if we see any player props for this game tomorrow. I only see AD and LeBron listed tomorrow as far as player props. But did you see anything from those two guys or any other player props that you'll be targeting in this game?
Yeah, maybe some AD rebounds against the undersized Jazz team. They don't have a lot of size. I'll be looking at that. But again, you kind of gotta hope he gets there in 3 quarters. So you kind of gotta
Yeah.
split your handicap and think, okay, is he going to be aggressive enough to come out and get? Now, obviously, I think the Lakers are going to come out with extreme like a sense of urgency because they don't want to be in that position late in the game where the Jazz have a shot to win it, or they have a shot, or the Lakers have a shot and they have to win it. And I mean, the Jazz, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they can improve their odds. I didn't look into it like the ping pong balls or whatever, but I don't think they can improve much. Like, what can they go from? Like 6 to 5, or I don't even know if they're that bad as far as odds for pick.
Um, I haven't looked into that. I haven't. I'll be honest.
So I'm guessing. I mean, I'm guessing they're bottom 10. So I mean, there's not much difference between like 7 and 8.
Yeah.
It's not that much. So I don't think they have incentive to lose. So obviously they're going to come out and try to win.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think if AD can get it done earlier, it bodes well for us in these props. If it's a competitive game, much like I like Kawhi under today, thinking it wasn't going to be a competitive game, he ends up going over anyway. But all in all, yeah, I like AD over his rebounds and maybe some LeBron rebounds and assists simply because he's going to be more of a distributor in a bigger game, trying to hold back his energy for the playing game.
Yeah, I see a couple of guys pointing out maybe Vanderbilt double double, Malik Beasley threes from JR. Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a possibility, and those guys are blowout proof. Like we kind of talked about on the Saturday morning pod, is that guys when let's just say, it is a blowout that LeBron, AD, D'Angelo Russell, those guys are going to be sitting. So
Mhm.
guys like Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt are probably gonna have to end up playing and getting those late minutes for the Lakers. So those are definitely a possibility. Malik, I couldn't talk you off of it. Also, Nick pointing out Austin Reed should clinch the MVP with his usual game tomorrow. Yeah,
Yeah, he should.
definitely. I think we probably have to send some baddies to the court side tomorrow, Delonte, to
Yeah, man.
maybe see Reeves
He's
gets
been
a triple double.
yeah, he's been killing it, like dishing the ball. Have you seen some of his assist numbers? He's been doing really well. I've been playing his points and assists over for like 2 weeks. He's been really distributing the ball, especially when D'Lo was out. So when D'Lo was out, he was more so doing a lot of distributing. He's got a lot of trust from LeBron and AD
Mhm.
because they like to run a lot of sets with those three guys on the same side of the floor.
He's really
But
gonna be
yeah,
an
man,
X
yeah,
factor for
yeah,
them in the
absolutely.
play-in
He won't
tournament
be there
game,
next
and
year.
then yeah, yeah, he'll probably get paid by
Yeah,
someone, but
somebody's gonna pay him.
yeah, but I mean, he's been really good over the last
Yeah.
5 games for the Lakers. He's averaging 20.6 points,
Mm-hmm.
4.6 assists. He's had 20 or more points in 3 straight games for the LA Lakers. So definitely a guy that has really improved throughout the season. This might be a
100%.
guy next year, Delonte. We may want to look at Austin Reeves for most improved player of the year.
Yeah,
Might be a long shot.
yeah, depending on where he goes. I mean, because I don't. I mean, obviously, I think the Lakers have a track record of not paying players. Of
Yeah,
course, so they
yeah,
didn't pay. Malik Monk had a great year, and now it's different. I know because they drafted Austin Reeves, or was he drafted? No, he was just signed. Right? He
I
was a
think
restricted
so.
free.
Yeah,
Yeah, so might be different, but I mean, somebody's gonna pay him a lot of money. Some team is gonna pay him a lot of money because I mean he's been productive. I remember he wasn't that good at Wichita State. He went to Oklahoma and kind of reinvented himself.
yeah.
So, um, yeah, man, I think he's gonna get paid. I don't think he'll be there much longer. Sorry to say to my Laker fans.
Yeah, he signed a two-way contract in 2021. Um, two-way contract with the Lakers in 2021, and then he signed a standard NBA contract. I think probably a month later after that.
Yeah.
So,
So he's restricted. Is he restricted free agent this year or is
uh,
he unrestricted?
let me see.
I
He's a
want to say he's
restricted free agent.
unrestricted.
Restricted, it says.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see what transpired. All right. So Utah Jazz, and then look at the props that we just mentioned. Anything else for this game?
Man, just keep looking at Abaji. His props, he's been playing well, except for that one hiccup he had a few games ago. But yesterday or today, I'm sorry, I'm thinking we're on Sunday. But today he played extremely well. Was extremely aggressive, shot the ball well. Um, him and Chris Dunn would be the only players that I would target as far as player prop was.
Yep. All right. Before we continue the conversation, let me tell everyone about Sword Vitality. It's Saturday night. You probably went on a date, and it's time to have some fun. And you may be lacking a little bit in the bedroom, but hey, look, we're here to help you out, man. There's no shame in the game. Don't worry about it. That's where Sword Vitality comes in, guys. Self-care is cool. Self-care is manly. Be proud, man. You got to be proud of taking care of yourself. 40% of men are affected by impotence at the age of 40, and nearly 70% of men are affected by the age of 70. Don't stop by the gas station on your way home talking about you need a pack of cigarettes or picking up some beer. You're picking up those phony, highly suspect pills at the gas station. No, don't do it. No more hiding that little blue pill in your sock drawer either. You manscape, but you also take care of the plumbing. Sword Vitality helps increase your blood flow in ways that help you thrive as a man. It's time to become a Sword Vitality man if you aren't experiencing erections in the morning. Talking about Sword Vitality should be as comfortable as anything men talk to their partners about. You like football, you like to hike, you use Sword Vitality. Let the ladies know. There's 3 main benefits. It increases blood flow in ways that help you thrive as a man in the bedroom. Sword Vitality can help increase your stamina as well, and you don't have to hide it. You can be proud of it. Unsheath your sword. Visit swordvitality.com and use promo code SGPN for a nice discount at checkout. That's swordvitality.com, promo code SGPN. And it's not too late, guys, to get into the driver giveaway by the Golf Gambling Podcast. They're giving away tailor-made driver contest. So enter before Sunday, April 8th. I think they're doing, if you're getting to the pod on Sunday, I think there's still time. It's completely free to enter. And all you got to do is go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/driver. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/driver. All right, Delonte, let's get over to the next game of the evening. This one might be an easy one. A team that still has something to play for. That's going to be the Golden State Warriors. They are going to be in Portland to take on the Blazers. They are currently a 17.5-point favorite. Like I mentioned earlier today, they played in LA, so they're traveling back home to host the Golden State Warriors in a back-to-back situation. Is this? Oh, let me look at the injury report for the Golden State Warriors. I believe I saw notes like mid-afternoon that everybody was going to play for the Golden
Are
State
they
Warriors.
allowing
So,
Wiggins? Is Wiggins going to play?
So it still says he's out, but I think that he'll be ready probably for the playoffs for sure because
Okay.
he is back with the team. So
Okay.
Steph Curry is probable. Jonathan Kaminga is probable in this game here as well. Um, is this just a fact again what we saw today with the Clippers, Delonte, that Golden State just wants to win, rest their guys, and then we probably see the Blazers lose by maybe 11, 12, 13 points again?
Yeah, I think it plays out perfectly just like that, like exactly like that. Now the Warriors, they are prone to getting in situations that they don't want to be in, but I mean we all know what the Blazers are going to do, what they want to do. The the bottom three teams still get equal chance though, right? So it doesn't matter if you're 1, 2, or 3; they still get like 14% chance, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. Like,
yeah, it's pretty much Rockets, Spurs, and Pistons that are
yeah.
those bottom
Right.
three
So
teams.
so
Yeah.
they can't get they can't get any lower. So I think they're gonna play hard, but I just don't think it'll be enough. And like you said with the Warriors, I don't think they'll exert much energy here. If you do like the Warriors, look for them in the first half, first quarter. I definitely wouldn't lay 17 and a half, but I also wouldn't take it. I know that's kind of
Mhm.
counterproductive, but I just wouldn't play it like on the spread. Just want to split it up and play Blazers in the second half. I know me, you, and Scott all alluded to playing, the teams in the second half more so if it wasn't as competitive with those guys being rested
Yeah.
for the dominant team. So I would look to play the Warriors early. I think they come out, smack Portland a little earlier, and they get some rest and I guess kind of watch who their opponent is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, look, for the Warriors, I think I'm gonna target team totals in this game,
Yep.
whether it's first quarter, first half, full game. Um, I think again, obviously, defensively, the Portland Trailblazers have not been very good. I mean, I mean, when you're putting a G League squad out there, Delonte, it's defensive effort is going to be the last thing, and these guys just want to, get buckets and just put up points. So today they gave up 136 to the LA Clippers. Their last game, they gave up 129 to the Spurs, 119 to the Grizzlies. So, I mean, you'll probably see this number at 129 and a half, 130 for the Warriors. I would look at it first quarter, first
Mhm.
half. I just think that they should just come out here, take care of business in that first half, similar to what we saw, or at least to our handicap, that they should come out early and take care of business. I'm trying to see what the Blazers have done in back-to-back situations this season. Not sure if it's really going to matter at this junction of the season.
Yeah, probably don't, but
Let me just see after All-Star break to see how that uh, transpires. So yeah, they're just 1-2 straight up, 1-2 against the spread. Actually, 0-3 to the over. But I mean, at this point, I think we got to throw the trends and stats really, or at
yeah,
least the
absolutely.
trends out the window.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Good for that.
Let me see player props in this game. I only see the Splash Brothers listed. JR pointing out Looney rebounds. He's anticipating a lot of blocks, but any player props you're targeting in this game?
I will be looking at some of the lower tier guys for Golden State, seeming they get some runs. So guys like Kaminga, Moody,
Mhm.
I think they'll get a lot more minutes in this game. Not just at the end in the blowups, but I think I think Curl kind of mix them in, to get them. I mean, it's technically a high leverage situation, but it's not really because of the opponent. But you get what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
gotta
that
have
makes
it
sense.
to win. You know what I'm saying? For seeding purposes. So kind of want to give them in a flow of having a semi big game. I put semi in quotations, but yeah, I look at some of those guys. Some Moody, Kaminga. Kaminga is going to be really, really active on the boards. He's going to defend. So I look at his like points and rebounds. Look at some Moody points. As for the main guys, maybe just look at Steph and Clay's threes. I mean, because when they're out there, they're probably just going to bomb up a lot of threes. Not going to take Portland series. Portland doesn't defend the three well anyway, even at full strength. So
Yeah.
um, and I see Nick was talking about DiVincenzo. I like him too, but again, not sure how much he's going to exert, offensively. So Moody's points, Kaminga's points and rebounds, and of course on the Portland side, we're going to just keep riding Shaden Sharp until he comes back next year. Yeah.
Crazy that Curry hasn't played against the Blazers this season. I know he missed two different times with injuries, but Last time he played the Blazers was all the way back in February of last year. But
Oh, wow.
kind of looking at his 3-pointers, the last season, 2 of 7, but prior to that, 6 of 17. I mean, he's getting it up, Delonte. This is from three, 6 of 17, 6 of 15, 5 of 14, 8 of 16, 4 of 12, 5 of 14. So I think you're 100% correct that I'll probably look at Splash Brothers threes. I mean, there should be
Mhm.
a prop that put up by the books at how many threes Clay and Steph are going to knock down. Like it should be a player prop,
Right.
for like for their anytime they're playing together. But um, 3 games this season for Clay against the Portland Trailblazers. He's at 31, 31, and 23. And he's also chunking it from 3-point land 7 of 15, 7 of 19, and 3 of 7
Oh, yeah.
in those games. So, yeah, I think that's a great call. Anything else for this game?
Nah, just got nothing.
All right, let's get over to the LA Clippers against the Phoenix Suns. Did see a line of 12.5 as an opening number for this game. Phoenix is all, I mean, again, no reason to play any of their starters. So guys that are going to be out tomorrow for the Phoenix Suns are DeAndre Ayton, Bismack Biyombo, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Cam Payne, and TJ Warren are all doubtful tomorrow for the Phoenix Suns. We did see that the Clippers said that, again, Kawhi will be playing in a back-to-back. So expect the guys that we saw today to play in this game tonight against the against the Phoenix Suns. 12.5 right now is the number for the Clippers against the Suns. What are you thinking about this game here, Delonte?
I'm thinking about taking the Suns here. And just, I mean, Clippers on a back to back. Suns at home. They haven't had. I mean, it's obviously not a lot of travel. I mean, LA. I'm well, not LA, but California and Arizona,
Yeah,
not far
yeah.
apart. So it's not
Mhm.
brutal travel spot. But I mean, older veteran team kind of want to get in and get out. And also, I wanted to ask, dude. So if the Clippers lose, they go back to 6, or are they already at 6?
So right now they are sitting in the 5th spot.
Right.
And I am gonna pull up and this underdog NBA put out the scenarios of what's gonna happen tomorrow. So if Clippers, let's just say all the favorites win tomorrow,
Mhm.
Minnesota, Clippers, Golden State, and the Lakers. What will happen at that point is the Clippers will stay at the 5 seed. Golden State will finish as a 6 seed. LA will be the 7th seed, and Minnesota will be the 8th seed, and then the Pelicans will be the 9th seed. So it seems like if the Clippers win tomorrow, they're going to stay at the 5 seed.
So my thing is, I got a hunch that they might lose to get out of that 5th spot,
To
and
avoid Phoenix.
so, so they can get to Sacramento. That's what I'm
Okay.
thinking. That's what I'm
Okay.
thinking. Now I guess you can kind of play with it. Like you can probably just bet the money line for the Suns to get better value, because I think if it's close, I think they're gonna win it. Because
Okay.
honestly, let's just think about it from a matchup perspective. Like they obviously match up, but all the teams at the bottom, they're trying to match up with the Kings for
Right.
obvious reasons. They don't
Yep.
want to match up with the Suns. Now,
Right.
obviously, the Suns are, what are they like, under 10 games with like full strength. So it's kind of some kinks that they got to be working out. But still, you still don't want to play the Suns, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Devin Booker
Yeah.
in a big game. So in several big games. So
Mhm.
man, I think that it's a big chance that the Clippers might play a little possum here and come out and not play as well. That's just a hunch. I don't know, but I'll take the Suns and the points, and I'll sprinkle on the money line also.
Yeah. So if let's just say Phoenix wins tomorrow, and then Warriors, Lakers, and the Minnesota Timberwolves win tomorrow, then Golden State would be the 5th seed, and the
Right,
Clippers would be the 6th seed. Yeah.
right. That man, listen, you got to think about it. I mean,
Yeah, it makes
it,
sense.
you can say the same about the Warriors too, though. I mean, like
Yeah.
because if they lose, and the Clippers, obviously that's why the games are going on at the same time, so they can't,
Hmm.
But I mean, the 6th seed is really valuable to those teams. I mean, obviously the Kings are probably the weakest team out of the bunch. I mean, no disrespect to the Kings, I love the Kings, but
Yeah.
I would much rather play, a youthful, non-experienced team versus Hall of Famers. I mean, that's just a no-brainer.
Yeah. All right. So you're taking the Suns plus the 12.5. I think I'm gonna get the man. I don't know who the hell even gonna play for the for the Phoenix Suns. Uh yeah. I mean, I guess I'll just take the points with you plus 12.5 with the Suns. I think this might be like a 10-point victory or like a last second like backdoor cover by the
Yeah,
like
man.
Phoenix Suns. So
Man, I listen. If I had to make a prediction, I one of Phoenix or Golden State, one of them is going to lose tomorrow. I don't know
mm,
which one,
okay.
but one of them. I mean, just because of matchup purposes. I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen it happen before. Like, it's documented that like Shaq, he was talking about the old teams where they were trying to jockey for position, like they weren't trying to lose, but it's just like, oh well, if we happen to lose, whatever, we get such and such instead of Utah in the second round. So yeah, man, it's out there. I'll say that, but just a hunch I got.
Yeah. So also say this that there isn't a scenario that if Golden State loses tomorrow, that well, so for Golden State to end up in the 6th seed, they would need the Clippers to lose,
Mm-hmm.
and for the Portland Trailblazers to lose as well, if I'm reading this correctly.
Yeah. Well, that's a
Yeah. So that's what the scenario is right now. But I don't know. I just think that I don't think for the do you think the Warriors really care about? I mean, I think they do,
I
but
mean, I think they do. I mean, I don't care. I don't care who you got on your team. You ain't trying to play Kevin Durant, Devin Booker in the first round.
yeah. Okay. All
Especially
right.
you working Wiggins back. So like I mean, obviously people are expecting him to come back and obviously he's gonna help the team, but he's
Yeah.
not gonna hit the ground running. He hasn't played in what, like 2-3 months?
Wiggins, yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, so I mean
Yeah.
he's gotta get back focused, he gotta get back locked in,
Yeah.
high intensity, gotta get in game shape. So he probably has been working out. I mean, he's an
Yeah.
NBA player, but game shape in like in shape is two different things. So
Hmm.
and then the physicality of the playoffs is on another level.
Yeah.
So I think they would rather, try to put the training wheels on, get the Kings, and kind of outwit them, outvet them in big spots, rather than playing a Suns team who's going to be hungry. They are going to be hungry.
Yeah. 100%. All right. Any player props or anything else you're looking at in this game between the Clippers and the Suns? I don't see anything out for this game.
Yeah, I'll probably just be looking at some lower tier guys. I'll be looking at a lot of lower tier guys. Terrence Mann, um, he didn't get there. I think his points prop was 8 and he got 6. I'll be looking at him and Bones Highland again. As for the Suns, I kind of got to see what the lineup is. Do you have a
Yeah.
projected lineup for Phoenix at all?
Let me see. Let's go to a website that has it or usually has it. Let's see. For Phoenix, no, they don't have anything listed yet.
Yeah. So I kind of want to wait and see who plays and who doesn't.
Do they have? They had Kevin Durant and them sat in the last game as well, didn't they?
They play Kevin. They played against.
They played Denver.
Yeah, no, they play. Remember, because
They did.
it came down to the wire. They barely held on. That was like Friday night, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, they were in
Oh,
jeopardy of losing
the
that game.
Phoenix was in LA on Friday.
Oh, maybe it
That,
was
that
that.
that game might have been Wednesday. So that starting lineup was Torrey Craig, Josh Okogie, Bismack Biyombo, Campaign, Landry Shamet. So we already know Bismack Biyombo is going to be out, and Campaign is going to be out as well. So it's probably Isaiah Wainwright that's probably going to be starting. Liddell probably starts at center, and then Terrence Ross. Maybe Terrence Ross props.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah. All
definitely,
right.
and some Shamit props too.
Yeah. All right, let's get over to the last game of the night, or the day at least, the most competitive one.
Mhm.
So this is going to be the New Orleans Pelicans. They are going to be traveling up to Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves here. Wolves currently at home are a 3.5-point favorite. And this is pretty much the scenario of that if the Minnesota Timberwolves win, the lowest they can finish is as the 8th seed, and the highest they can finish as the 7th seed. If they end up losing tomorrow, they will be the ninth seed. So, like we mentioned at the top of the show, they can finish anywhere from 7 to 9. If they lose outright, they will be the ninth seed hosting the OKC Thunder. And then if Minnesota wins tomorrow, the Pelicans will pretty much end up as the ninth seed. And a lot of crazy stuff has to happen for them to even finish up as a 5 seed, 6 seed, or 7 seed. So most of the scenarios I'm seeing for the Pelicans is that they end up as a ninth seed if they lose. If they win the game, they can be as high as a 6 seed. Whoa, okay. So, Delonte, let's just say this. Let's just say the Pelicans win tomorrow, and the Lakers win, and Golden State wins, and the Clippers win. The
Mhm.
Pelicans can finish as a 6 seed
Wow.
in that scenario.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
insane.
yeah. So they would then play the Sacramento Kings. Golden State would be the 5th seed. The 7th seed would be the Clippers, and then the Lakers would be the 8th seed. So you would see a 7-8 matchup between the Battle of LA
Wow.
if the
That would be
Pelicans win.
incredible. Just
Yeah.
like Silver drew it up.
Yeah. All right. So let's get over to this game here then, Delonte. Pelicans and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let me look at the injury report for the Pelicans. Everybody is going to be playing. I don't see anybody out that hasn't already been out. Jose Alvarado and Zion obviously are out, but everybody seems like they're going to be a go. Minnesota, we did see the note come across that Karl Anthony Towns is going to be playing in the back-to-back set. Today, they took care of business, like we mentioned at the top of the show. They dropped 151 points on the San Antonio Spurs. In that game, no starter played more than 29 minutes. The guy that had the highest minutes was Rudy Gobert at 29 minutes. Karl Anthony Towns played 28, Conley 24, and Anthony Edwards 25. So, not heavy minutes. So I think that all of them will be ready to go. 3.5 for the Minnesota Timberwolves hosting the Pelicans here. Delonte, what are you thinking, man?
Yeah, man, I like Minnesota a lot here. I think the Pelicans have been playing a lot of high leverage games, obviously high intensity. I think that's going to come back to haunt them here. A little bit of fatigue with the travel, like you mentioned with Minnesota. Kind of took that was one of my points I was going to hit. Also, Minnesota didn't extend a lot of energy against San Antonio, so they're going to be locked in, ready to go. I think the matchup advantage is going to be inside against the Pelicans who don't have rim protection. I think Anthony Edwards is probably going to feast, putting he's probably going to have to put a lot of like pick and rolls. Him and Gobert are going to have to do a lot of pick and rolls to get Herb Jones off of him. But I think it's going to be a good matchup between him. I also think Jaden McDaniels, how he defends Brandon Ingram is going to kind of dictate how the game goes. So I think Minnesota is slightly the better team. I think their inside presence is what's going to be the deciding factor. I think they should play volleyball on the glass and have a good night. If they can shoot it well, I think they have blowout potential here because of the Pelicans' high intensity games for the past 4 or 5 days, and they haven't exerted a lot of energy. So I like Minnesota a lot here. Yeah, I'll lay it 3.5 with them.
I'm trying to see the season matchup between these two teams and how they did.
I could pull it up for you. Let's see.
I got it.
Okay.
Oh wait. Let's see. So they've played 2 games this season, and they have split both meetings. So New Orleans won at home against Minnesota 119, 118, and then they lost to Minnesota 111, 102 in that game. So I think I like the Minnesota side here as well. I know the Pelicans have been playing well, but we kind of went back and talked about how they really haven't played any opponents.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that we can say that are above average. I'm gonna try to go back to their game log here or their schedule and see, you know, some of the stiffer competition that they may have faced. So far, I think the one win that we can probably give them credit for it. Well, I don't even know if New York Knicks, because they didn't have Julius Randle or anybody in that game.
Right.
They did beat Memphis in overtime, but I think that was a game without John Morant, if I'm not mistaken. They lost to Sacramento. They beat LA. They beat Denver, but I think Denver was without most of their starters. They lost to the Golden State Warriors. They beat Portland, they beat LA, Charlotte, San Antonio, Houston. So I mean, they really haven't faced anybody in that span. And I know you played teams that are in front of you, but at the same time, I think that for Minnesota, I think they're the more balanced team. If that
Yep.
makes sense, because you
Yep.
have your inside presence with Rudy Gobert. You have some defensive guys that can slow down or try to slow down Brandon Ingram and or CJ McCollum, but I'm going to go with Minnesota here as well. I think they take care of business in this game, -3.5. I do like the under.
Yeah.
I think
Absolutely. Me too.
this is just going to be a game where it'll be obviously it's pretty much a playoff game. It's obviously determining on who gets to host either a home game in the play-in tournament or maybe even gets out of the play-in tournament bracket. So I'm going to go with the Wolves here as well. Player props, if anything, you're looking at in this game here, Delonte.
Yeah, I don't see a ton, but I'll probably be on some type of Gobert points and rebounds. Like I said, I think their weak point. If Jonas gets in foul trouble, which he's prone to doing, then Gobert should have a freeway at the basket to grab all the rebounds that he wants, like buffet style. So I like that. I also like CJ McCollum over points and assists. So his points are at 21.5. His assists are at 5.5. Um, so, if you add those together, that's 27. The odds makers will probably make it 27 and a half, 28. I'll probably go over that. I think he has a real big game, trying to get other guys involved before he gets himself involved late in the game if it's a close game, which the point spread indicates. So I like him over his points and rebounds, uh, combined prop whenever that drops. That's the only two that I love. Kind of looking at some Jaden McDaniels stuff, but I'm not sure how much offense he'll have being able to defend, Trey Murphy and Brandon Ingram. So
Hmm.
I look at some cat unders also. Kind of want to see how he looks off that back to back, but he played decent today. He didn't play a lot of minutes, but I think he'll dial it back a little bit in this matchup.
Yeah, I think this is a game where you probably see the stars shine, and I think if Pelicans want to have a chance to win this game, or I mean, they do have, I think, more than a fair chance to win this game. You'll have to see guys like Brandon Ingram and CJ
Mhm.
McCollum have big games. I do like the rebounding prop for the Rudy Gobert in this game. If Valanciunas does get into foul trouble, like you mentioned, that Rudy Gobert should be able to clean up the boards for the Pelicans. Anthony Edwards, I think, will probably have a big game here as well. He played pretty well against the Spurs team, but it depends on who's going to draw the assignment on Anthony Edwards, whether it's
Yeah.
Herb Jones or Trey Murphy. That'll be an interesting matchup to watch. But I do like the under in this game. Trying to see this season. I think Pelicans were a great team towards the under this season. No, actually, they ended up 20-20 on the total, but on the road this season, they weren't very good. 15-25 straight up, 16-23-1 against the spread in road games. So um, there's some more stats for you as far as back in the Minnesota Timberwolves in this game. And the Wolves at home this year, they were 21-19 straight up, 18-22 against the spread,
Hmm.
23-17 towards the under in those games. So again, I think this is going to be a great game to watch. Obviously, the most competitive game for tomorrow. Anything else for this game?
Oh man, I agree with you on the under, and also look at Minnesota early in the game. Also they're the best first quarter team in the NBA. They also covered 7 of the last 10 first quarters at home, 23 and 17 ATS, covering by 1.5 points per cover. So I would probably look at them early on. The Pelicans, if you watch their games as of late, they tend to fall back, like fall behind early, which is why they exerted so much energy coming back from Memphis. They came back against Dallas. So, yeah, I think that the Minnesota first quarter is a very valuable play here too.
Yep. All right, love it. All right, so that is going to be, I guess we can say, the games with playoff implications, which is the Western Conference. Anything else as far as the schedule tomorrow, or sorry, on Sunday, I should say. I know we're recording here on Saturday evening, but that kind of caught your eye, or anything that you may be looking at tomorrow, Delonte, as far as the schedule for tomorrow?
Yeah, man. So I'm gonna play the Knicks. I'm gonna lay it with the Knicks first quarter, first half full game.
Okay.
Um, I mean, Randall and Brunson we know are going to be out, but as far as the injury report right now, like they don't have any of the other guys like Quickly's in, Toppin's in. I think some of those lower tier guys can still carry them against Indiana, who's struggling. We just seen them. Didn't they
Mhm.
get buried by uh the Magic or somebody? Like I forgot recently they got buried by
The
somebody if I'm not
Pacers.
mistaken. Yeah, the Pacers.
Let's
Let
see
me
here. So
see.
their last game was against
Detroit. Yeah, they
the
lost to
Detroit.
Detroit.
Yeah.
That's all
Mhm.
that's all we need to know. But yeah, so I like the Knicks first quarter, first half, and full game. The first quarter, first half isn't out yet, but they're laying 8.5. I laid it already with the Knicks. Um, also like what else did I play?
Golly, these two teams played on Wednesday, and you had three guys for the Knicks that scored 30 or more
Right,
points.
all right. I also
Quentin
like
Grimes.
Washington
Okay.
against your Rockets. I like Washington against your Rockets. I have no I have no idea why that number just jumped out to me. I laid 2.5, laid the money line. Um, like Toronto against Milwaukee, uh, on the injury report, I didn't see. It's kind of like the Knicks situation. I didn't see a lot of the like middling guys, the 6, 7 players and the lower tier guys. I think they'll do well against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Um,
So their main guys are out for Toronto tomorrow.
yeah, just Fred. It was Fred, OG,
And
Siakam,
Siakam. Yeah.
and Scotty Barnes. Right, those are the four that are out.
I don't see Barnes on the report.
Even better for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
even better for me. But some of those other guys, like is Trent on the injury report?
No, I don't see his name either.
Right. So some of those guys, I think they'll be able to handle Milwaukee, who probably, they got a deep rotation. So who knows how long they play those guys. Um, I laid it with Cleveland. Mobley's not on the injury report at all. I know
Hmm.
the big two are Garland and Mitchell, but Charlotte not going anywhere. They have half the roster on the injury report. So yeah, man, I laid it with them. I laid 4 with them. So that's my plays for tomorrow for everybody
Yeah, I
listening.
the Rockets Wizards. I think I do like Jalen Green points tomorrow. Kevin Porter
Yep.
Jr. is going to be out tomorrow. See his points prop at 25.5. So I think that he can definitely score 30 tomorrow for the Rockets. That was pretty much all I saw or liked. I mean, again, be careful on
Yeah, for
Sundays and
sure. Be
check those
careful.
injury
Yeah.
reports for sure. It is the last of the regular season, so we cover the games that have playoff implications and things like that. But we'll have a full flesh playoff preview, talking about playing games as well. So, Delonte, let's close out this episode with a lock and dog, or any best bets. I guess we can say that we do have whatever you want to give out as your lock and dog or best bet. I'll leave it
Yeah,
up
man,
to
I'm
you.
gonna give out a game we talked about. I'm gonna go back to Minnesota Timberwolves, like the spot for them, like the matchup for them. We went over it earlier, so you can rewind and get back to that. But I just think I think that the Clippers, not the Clippers, I think that the schedule that the Pelicans have played, falling behind, exerting so much energy to come back. I think it's gonna come back to haunt them here, and they have some travel. So I like Minnesota laying a 3.5. For the dog, I go back to another game that we talked about. I'm trying to figure out if I wanted to do Phoenix. Man, it's ugly to do it with Portland. Give me Utah one last time. Give me Utah plus
All
16
right.
and a half on the road against LA.
All right. Um, the issue is that I don't have a under number
Right.
for.
Yeah. For the Minnesota game. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
that's like my favorite play for
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah, yeah.
Let me see if my odd screens that I use has it for tomorrow. Basketball. All. Let's see here. No, I don't see anything. All right, so I guess I'll tweet out, but I think a best bet for me is probably going to be that under in the Pelicans and the Minnesota Timberwolves game, and then also I would probably be looking at team totals for the Golden State Warriors against the Portland Trailblazers tomorrow. I do see one book has a 233 total out for the Blazers in the Golden State Warriors game.
Yeah, I'm
I
going
think
over that.
again Yeah, definitely for sure. I think Golden State can definitely put up 130 and at minimum, and I think that Portland should score in triple digits like they have been. So I do like either the over in that game or Golden State Warriors team totals, whether it's first quarter, first half, or full game. All right, that is going to do it for this edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast. The last game, or sorry, the last episode for the regular season. Next week we will be back. The timing for Monday will be a little different. We won't be at the usual time, but it'll probably be around closer to 5:30 Eastern. We'll discuss some playoff previews for or the lines that are out for some of these playoff series, like the 3-6 and the 4-5 matchups that are out in the East, and then we'll have obviously more playoff series numbers for the Western Conference, so we know the exact seeding after Sunday's game. So again, make sure to follow the Twitter account SGPN NBA. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel at NBA Gambling Podcast on YouTube. Really appreciate the guys that joined us on Saturday night in the chat. The usual guys, Drew's in there, Nick, ZM, another guy that's usually in our YouTube comment section. JR,
Yeah,
appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all definitely make the show go by a lot faster, and it's always fun interacting with everybody. Delonte, anything else, my man?
Nah, man, just shout out those guys and everybody else who joined us. Really appreciate it. Short notice. And yeah, man, glad we got a good turnout. Actually looking forward to some chaos tomorrow. So I'm hoping that we get it. And we have a lot more to talk about Monday.
Yeah, hopefully maybe we'll get one or two upsets here tomorrow. So we'll see. All right. We'll be back on Monday around 5:30 Eastern. If you're going to watch us live, and again, the pod will be out soon after that for you guys to listen to. Good luck with your bets. Enjoy the last day of the regular season in the NBA. And as soon as Monday is here, it is the play-in tournament and the NBA playoffs. All right, good luck with your bets. Let's break these books off and let it ride.